Bismillahi, rRahmani. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Dear brothers and sisters, listeners, the audience, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. One more time, I welcome you to the House of Dua, a platform in which you and I interact to understand the Qur'an, to understand the application of the Qur'an to our lives, how to use the Qur'an to reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how to on our own supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how to follow the example of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam in reaching out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In today's episode, I'm going to discuss with you on reaching out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As you are already aware, as believers in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our primary responsibility is to have a link with Him. Is to consciously and continuously link up with Him. Because He is our creator. He is our provider. He is our sustainer. He is our protector. He is the one, whether we like it or not, after our stay on this planet, we return back to Him for accountability. He created us. Therefore, He has given us a definite assignment, that of reaching out to Him all the time. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, not many people know how to reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, the House of Dua will take the next few minutes to explain to you what it means to reach out to your Creator. First of all, let me remind you and remind myself that reaching out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is an obligatory responsibility. In Surah Ghafir, which is in the Qur'an, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبُ لَكُمْ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, your Lord has declared that you should always reach out to Him. You should always call on Him in all that you do. And those who become so arrogant that they think they can do without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they won't like to call on Him. Those people are making mistakes. Very soon, they will face a punishment. We don't want to be like that. The reason I'm reminding you of this verse is that I know that there are people who will want you to believe that all you owe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to worship Him. And that your needs and your fears and your aspirations are already subsumed in your worship. To some extent, they are right. You can reach out to Allah with your needs through worship alone. In Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu sta'inu bis-sabri was-salat inna Allaha ma'as-sabirin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O you who believe, sta'inu bis-sabri was-salat. Reach out to Allah, seek from Allah through prayers and through perseverance. Inna Allaha ma'as-sabirin. Allah is in support of those. He is with those who are patient, who patiently seek from Him. Therefore, it's our duty to reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The same Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, call on me. So to say that after you worship, that is it, you cannot call on Allah, it may not be a complete story. You still need to find time to reach out to Him, either in the day or in the night, or at work, or in the marketplace, whatever. Linking up with Allah from time to time is the essence of being a believer. In the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam stated that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He is mad at those who attack His pious worshippers. He will declare war on those people who are making life difficult with his pious worshippers. Who are his pious worshippers? They are those, in addition to carrying out the obligatory responsibilities that Allah had given to them, they take the extra step of reaching out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Either through salat, or through zakat, or through dua, or through amal salih, or through sadaqat. That extra step will draw you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when you, a servant who continuously reaches out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by doing extra deeds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says he loves that servant. And if the servant does it to a level where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declares his love for him, then that servant sees only through the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He hears through the ears of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He walks through the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything he does is guided. That's what it means. Not only is he guided, he's protected. So reaching out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a primary aspect of our worship. To discount it, therefore, will be doing yourself a disservice. There are many ways you can reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as I stated, through salat, your regular 5 daily prayers, or in addition to your 5 daily prayers, by doing some nawafil, either in the night or in the day. You can also reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the reading of the Holy Qur'an. Every letter, every verse, every ayah, every surah you read in the Qur'an amounts to reaching out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As I stated last time, what can be better than you communicating with your Creator through the medium with which He is communicating with you? That's why it's very important for us to read the Qur'an all the time. Another way to reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is through dhikr. Through dhikr. There are many ways to glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La ilaha illallah is one of them. Subhanallah is one of them. Alhamdulillah is one of them. Astaghfirullah is one of them. Allahu Akbar is one of them. Several ways. These are not difficult to say. These are not, statements that are beyond your reach. But every time you mention any of these statements, it draws you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you earn that closeness to Allah, then you become a slave that He is prepared to guide and protect and advance in whatever you are doing. So, but right now, I want to introduce you to the simplest. Because many of us think that it's only when you are able to memorize the Qur'an that you can reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or when you have so many verses of the Qur'an in your brain. No. One of the simple ones. One of the elementary ones that everybody is familiar with. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, reach out to Him in His own name. Reaching out to Him in His own name is what I want to discuss with you this evening. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, open the Qur'an. What you find is that from one ayat, from one surah to another, the Qur'an begins with Bismillahi, rRahmani. Out of the 114 chapters of the Holy Qur'an, 113 chapters begin with Bismillahi, rRahmani, except Surah Tawbah, which is chapter 9 of the Holy Qur'an, also known as Surah Al-Bara. Why do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to start with Bismillahi rRahmani? There have been some variations in terms of whether or not Bismillahi rRahmani is a part of the chapter or it's not a part of the chapter. It's a part of Fatiha or it's not a part of Fatiha. Or whether Bismillahi rRahmani should be read along with Fatiha or not. Or whether it should be read aloud or not. Those arguments are neither here nor there. The important thing is that Bismillahi rRahmani, according to the consensus of scholars, is a part of Surah Al-Fatiha. The only surah where Bismillahi rRahmani stands on its own It's in Surah Al-Naml, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Innahu min Sulaiman wa innahu Bismillahi rRahmani rRaheem. When the story of the encounter of Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam with a lady, Bilqis alayhi salam, was discussed in the Holy Quran. We present that issue on a different platform later on. But what I'm trying to tell you is that reaching out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Bismillahi rRahmani rRaheem in His own name is a very great act of worship, which will draw you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Many people, especially Muslims, know how to recite this statement. I'm not aware of anybody who cannot say Bismillahi rRahmani rRaheem as a Muslim. And what does it mean? In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. When you say Bismillahi rRahmani rRaheem, you are saying Wallahi, Tallahi, Billahi, Lillahi, Minallahi. What does it mean? Wallahi, by Allah. Billahi, in the name of Allah. That's where Bismillah comes in. Lillahi, for Allah. Minallahi, from Allah. So all of them combined means invoking the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you say Bismillahi rRahmani rRaheem, what do you really mean? That takes us now to another verse in the Holy Quran, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا وَذَرُوا الَّذِينَ يُلْحِدُونَ فِي أَسْمَائِهِ سَيُجْزَوْنَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declares in this verse, which is verse 180 of Surah Al-A'raf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, to Allah belongs beautiful names, excellent names, which we call the name attributes of Allah, the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said there are 99 of them in number. Therefore, fadi'uhu biha, call on them, call on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with those names. Call on Him with those names. In the hadith narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he said the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam declared, Inna lillahi tis'ata wa tis'ina isman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had beautiful names, they are 99 in number. Mi'ata ila wahida, that is 100 minus 1. Man asaha, whoever is able to recognize these names, read them, memorize them, believe in them, dakhala jannah, that person enters Jannah. Allah will grant Jannah to that person. Not only that, Allah will make the stay of that person on this planet a beautiful stay. So when we say Bismillah, what we are saying therefore is in the name of Allah. Who is Allah? Huwa Allahu alladhi la ilaha illa huwa. عالم الغيب وشهادته هو الرحمن الرحيم والله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون. It continues. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do you know who I am? There are many verses in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces Himself to us. Because this has been a very serious argument to human beings. Who is God? There are people who call Him by different names. There are people who want to reach out to Him through different objects, through different institutions. But He tells us in the Quran, reach out to me directly. We don't go through any object. We don't go through human beings. You reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why He said, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ أُدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبُ لَكُمْ. Your Lord has declared that you should call on Him, call on me directly, and astajibu lakum, I will respond to you. So, there are these beautiful 99 names that you are invoking when you say Bismillahi, rRahmani, Ar-Rahman, Al-Maliku, Al-Qudus, As-Salam, Al-Mumin, Al-Muhaymin. There are so many. Whoever is able to memorize these ones, then of course he has a great asset in him or her. So we encourage you to seek out the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make use of them every day. Each of those names fit into your needs. Each of those names fit into your aspirations. Each of those names fit into your fear. They are a protection for you. They can turn your fears into hope. For example, Ya Allah. You are calling on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like saying Bismillah also. You are calling on Him. You are invoking Him. And from the hadith that we narrated to you, it says, whoever continues to link up with Him to a level where he now loves that person, then of course, whatever that person does, he's doing it in his own, in the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't you want to achieve that level? And when you attain that level, according to the hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whoever messes with you, that person is messing with Allah, and Allah will deal with that person for you. This is why it's important for you to continue to link out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me now take you back to Surah Al-Baqarah, which is chapter 2 of the Holy Qur'an, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declared in verse 186 of Surah Al-Baqarah. It says, Ya wa iza sa'alaka ibadi anni fa inni kareem ujibu da'wata da'i iza da'an falyastajibu li wal yu'minu bi la'allahum yarshudun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He told the Holy Prophet Muhammad, because He knows this question will continue to come up from time to time. Does Allah hear us? Does He listen? Does He grant? Does He respond to our calls? People will continue to ask this question. So He made it clear to the Prophet, even ahead of time before the question was asked. If the people come to ask you about me, as to whether or not I'm far away, or I'm near, or I'm listening, or I'm hearing, or I'm responding, cool, tell them. Tell them I'm beside them. I'm very close to them. I'm right there. I'm not far away. And I respond to the call of the one who calls on me. Just imagine that. Your Creator says He will respond. He responds. And He will continue to respond to the call of the one who calls on Him. Do you call on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Or are you one of those who believe that once you worship your 5 daily salawat, that is it? Well, you are doing a great service. But if you still find time to call out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that will be an added bonus for you. That will stand you out in the crowd of people. That will draw you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Bismillahi, rRahmani is a tool that you need to take along wherever you are going. Unfortunately, many people neglect it. Many people don't make use of it. As a result of that, things get difficult with them. You know what? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us, He didn't leave us alone. He guided us by sending this Qur'an. And He tells us how to navigate this planet. Let's take a look at the prophets that came before us. They faced great difficulties. They were challenged by those who were with them. They faced different challenges in society. People tried to mess with them. But at every point in time, they linked up with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because of that, they were victorious. Who was the prophet that didn't see the need to link up with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Name one, not a single one. Even our beautiful and most honored Prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he constantly linked up with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is how we should link up with Allah too, by reminding ourselves all the time of the value of Bismillahi, rRahmani, rRaheem. So, before I conclude, let me remind you and remind myself that Bismillahi, rRahmani, rRaheem is a very useful tool. You know, you live in a world that is so complicated, in which there are other people or other objects or other institutions that don't behave the way you behave. They don't believe in what you believe. They believe in other things. They evoke those things. What do you invoke yourself? What do you do to protect yourself? Just, look at all your daily activities. Which of them do you begin with Bismillahi, rRahmani, rRaheem? Is it when you step out of your bed? Is it when you step into your car, you want to crank your car and go onto the road? A freeway that doesn't belong to you? A freeway that is open to all other human beings and other objects? Do you know what is ahead of you on the way? Which is the more reason why you need to say Bismillahi, rRahmani, rRaheem. I give you the story of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. He was sent to his people. The people rejected him. At the time he invoked Allah to punish the people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made a decision to actually punish his people. But he advised Nuh alayhi salam. He said, go ahead and prepare a boat. When the punishment comes, that boat will be the means by which you will escape the punishment. While Nuh was doing that, people were making jest of him. He told the people, in taskaru minna fa inna naskaru minkum kama taskarun. Making jest of me. The time will come on, I will make jest of you. So when people want to humiliate you, and you have Allah beside you, of course, you can easily know that those people are wasting time. They can't harm you. There's nothing they can do. So, Nuh alayhi salam prepared the boat, and when the punishment came, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded Nuh to arrange his believers onto the boat and sail away. So after he had done that, Nuh declared, وَقَالَ رَكَبُوا فِيهَا Bismillahi majraha wa mursaha inna rabbi laghafurur rahim. Nuh declared, Bismillahi majraha wa mursaha. In the name of Allah, this boat will sail and this boat will come to an end. That's exactly what happened. So they began sailing. What about you? You jump into your car, there's nothing like Bismillah. How safe are you? You get into the office, you sit down on the table, which you left behind yesterday. Between yesterday and today, you don't know what has happened to that table. You don't know how many people have sat on that table. You don't know the nature of air that have blown across that table. Don't forget that this atmosphere we live in, this open space we live in, there are other objects that live on it. And we are constantly interacting with those objects, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described in the Qur'an as junudu samawati wal ard. Walillahi junudu samawati wal ard. Wa kana Allahu aliman hakima. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the forces that are in the heaven and the earth belong to Allah. You are one of those forces. The wind is one of them. The mosquito is one of them. The ants is one of them. Rain and fire is one of them. Evil forces are one of them, those who want to do evil. There are other human beings. There are those you can see and those you cannot see. As I said, some of those people you are contesting with, you are interacting with every day, they invoke other forces. What is your force? What is your force of power? Beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't have any. So as a Muslim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be your beginning and should be your end. That's why it's important for us to invoke him all the time by saying, Bismillahi, rRahmani, rRaheem. But as I said, we don't care. Even when we want to sit down at the table to eat, we don't start with Bismillah, whereas we are supposed to. Umar ibn Abi Salam, a small boy who lived in the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, said one day he was eating with the Prophet. He had the privilege of eating with the Prophet from the same table, from the same vessel. But before they started eating, the Prophet told him, say, Ya Umar, you know what? Before you eat, say, Bismillahi, rRahmani, rRaheem. And eat from that side that is close to you. A very beautiful advice. Why do you think the Prophet did that? If he didn't consider Bismillahi, rRahmani, rRaheem to be very important. We come from work, it's time to go to bed, you jump into your bed without even Bismillahi, rRahmani, rRaheem. And Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma narrated a hadith, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. He narrated a hadith in which he said, the Prophet said, when a couple, a man and his wife, goes to bed with the intention of having a child, and if they do the act by starting with Bismillahi, rRahmani, rRaheem, and God bless that act, you know what it means by the child will not be harmed by the shaitan? A child that is not harmed by the shaitan is a child that is guided. Don't forget that the shaitan is our great number one enemy. Don't you feel surprised, therefore, to see so many children, behaving negatively in the society today? Because we don't take the conscious decision to bring Allah into our lives when we want to do something, even up to having, intimacy with your wife. So there's a good lesson in that hadith. So my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, one more time, I hope I have succeeded in reminding you of the value of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Remember, when you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you are saying in the name of Allah, ar-Rahman, ar-Rahim, al-Malik, al-Qudus, al-Salam, al-Mumin, al-Muhaymin, al-Aziz, al-Jabbar, up to as-Sabur. 99 of them. Imagine if one person wants to fight you, or you declare enmity against you. By simply saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, it's like you are having up to 100 powers greater than that person standing in support of you. That's what it means. You are not just calling on Allah, you are calling on ar-Rahman. You are calling on ar-Rahim. You are calling on al-Mumin. You are calling on al-Muhaymin. You are calling on al-Jabbar. You are calling on al-Sabur. All of them. So it's a great power that we must not neglect. We must not set aside. We must not forgo. So as a believer, therefore, link up with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every day of your life by starting all your activities with Bismillah, including your salat, including your wudu. Again, another hadith by Abu Hurairah says, the Prophet says, La wudu'a, la salata liman la wudu Allah. There is no salat for the one who has no wudu. Wala wudu'a liman lam yazkar isma Allah alayh. There is no salat, there is no wudu for the person who did not say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Although there are variations on this hadith, but the hadith is authentic. What it means, therefore, is that before you start your wudu, say Bismillahi ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So I cannot overemphasize the value of Bismillahi ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Neither can I overemphasize the need for you to constantly reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through salah, through zakat, through Qur'an reading, through zikr, through all the acts that are prescribed for us in Islam. Reach out to Allah with them. And when you want to do so, start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And to the best of your ability, read the Holy Qur'an, because it's the medium through which your creator is communicating with you. Therefore, it should be the best medium through which you can communicate back to your creator. So may Allah accept our communication, may Allah accept our deeds, may Allah forgive our sins, may Allah take shaitan away from our lives and take our lives far away from the shaitan. Until I come again to speak to you, I hope you have benefited from the few ones I have said this evening, and I look forward to meeting you again, inshallah. subhanallah wa bihamdihi subhanaka allahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk